Marcus Williams opened his eyes in the dark hospital room, but he did not move. He had been awake for 3 days now, but nobody knew this secret. The doctors thought he was in a deep coma. The nurses thought his mind was gone. Even his own family believed he might never wake up again, but Marcus was very much awake. His mind was sharp and clear. He could hear every word spoken around him. He could feel every touch and every needle that went into his arm. The only thing he could not do was move or speak. This was not because of the accident. This was his choice. The accident had happened 1 week ago. Marcus remembered every detail of that terrible night. He had been leaving his office building when his car suddenly lost control. The steering wheel would not turn. The brakes would not work. The car crashed into a concrete wall at high speed. The doctor said it was amazing that he survived. They said his brain had been damaged by the impact. They said he was lucky to be alive, even if he might never wake up. But Marcus knew the truth. This was no accident. Someone had tried to kill him. Marcus Williams was not just any ordinary man. He was the owner and boss of Williams Dynamics, one of the biggest technology companies in the world. His company made special computer chips that could make spaceships fly faster than ever before. These chips were worth billions of dollars. Many people wanted to steal his secrets. For months, Marcus had noticed strange things happening at his company. Important files were disappearing from secure computers. Employees were asking questions about projects they should not know about. Money was missing from secret research accounts. Someone was stealing from him, but he did not know who. 3 days before the accident, Marcus had hired a private detective to find the spy in his company. The detective had promised to give him a list of suspects soon, but the accident happened first. Now Marcus wondered if the spy had found out about his investigation. The hospital room was quiet except for the soft beeping of machines. Marcus lay very still, listening to every sound. The door opened with a soft click. Someone walked into the room with quiet steps. It was probably a nurse coming to check on him again. The person moved around his bed, checking the machines that monitored his heart and breathing. Marcus could smell a light perfume. It was definitely a woman. She wrote something on a clipboard and then stood beside his bed for a long moment. "I know you cannot hear me," the woman said in a soft voice. "But the doctors say talking to Coma. Patience sometimes helps. My name is Katie Morrison. I am your night nurse. I will be taking care of you while you recover." Marcus wanted to smile, but he kept his face completely still. If only she knew that he could hear every word perfectly. Katie Morrison sounded young and kind. Her voice had a gentle quality that made him feel a little less alone in this dark situation. Katie continued talking while she adjusted his blankets and checked his medicine tubes. She told him about the weather outside and what was happening in the news. She mentioned that many people had sent flowers and cards wishing for his recovery. She said his company's stock price had dropped since the accident, but everyone hoped he would get better soon. What Katie did not know was that Marcus had special technology inside his body. Years ago, he had secretly put tiny computer chips in his brain and spine. These chips helped him think faster and remember more information. They also protected his brain from serious damage. The chips had saved his life in the car crash, but they also let him stay conscious while pretending to be unconscious. As Katie finished her work and prepared to leave, Marcus made his decision. He would continue pretending to be in a coma until he found out who had tried to kill him. He would use this time to listen and learn. Someone at his company was working with his enemies. Soon, he would discover who it was and make them pay for their betrayal. Katie Morrison finished her rounds at midnight and returned to Marcus Williams' room. The hospital was quiet during the night shift. Most patients were sleeping, and only a few nurses walked the empty hallways. This was Katie's favorite time to work because she could think clearly without interruptions. She pulled a chair close to Marcus's bed and sat down. The machines around him beeped softly in a steady rhythm. His face looked peaceful in the dim light from the monitors. Katie had been taking care of Marcus for 5 days now, and she had grown to care about this mysterious patient. "Hello again, Marcus," she said quietly. "I hope you do not mind that I talk to you every night." The doctors say it might help your brain heal faster. But honestly, I think it helps me more than it helps you. Marcus lay perfectly still, but inside his mind he was completely alert. He had been waiting for Katie to return. During the past few nights, their one-sided conversations had become the most interesting part of his day. Katie had a warm personality that made him feel less alone in his strange situation. Katie opened a small notebook and looked at the pages inside. "I have been reading about your company," she said. "Williams Dynamics makes amazing technology. The newspapers say your quantum drive engines could help humans travel to distant planets in just a few weeks instead of many years. That sounds like science fiction to me." She paused and looked at his face as if hoping for some reaction. "I wish I could ask you questions about how those engines work. I have always loved science and space travel. When I was a little girl, I dreamed of becoming an astronaut, but life took me in a different direction." Marcus was surprised by her interest in his work. Most nurses would talk about simple things like the weather or television shows. Katie seemed genuinely curious about advanced technology. This made him wonder if there was more to her than he first thought. Katie closed her notebook and leaned back in her chair. She looked around the room carefully, as if making sure they were completely alone. Then she moved her chair even closer to his bed and spoke in a whisper. "Marcus, I need to tell you something important," she said. "I am not really just a nurse. I mean, I'm a real nurse with proper training, but that is not my main job. I work for a government organization called the Human Colonial Defense Force. Most people have never heard of this group because we operate in secret." Marcus felt his heart rate increase, but the machines around him continued beeping at the same steady pace. His cybernetic implants automatically controlled his body's responses to keep his deception intact. But inside his mind, he was shocked by Katie's confession. "The Defense Force sent me here to protect you," Katie continued. "We know that someone tried to kill you. We also know that your quantum drive technology is extremely important for humanity's future. There are people who want to steal your research or destroy it completely." She reached out and gently touched his hand. "I know this sounds crazy, but Earth is not alone in the universe. We have discovered that hostile alien civilizations exist, and some of them see humans as a threat. Your technology could give humanity the ability to escape from Earth if we are ever attacked." Katie stood up and walked to the window. She looked out at the city lights below them. 3 months ago, our agents detected unusual activity around your company. Unknown individuals were trying to access your computer systems. Some of your employees were receiving money from suspicious sources. We realized that enemy agents had infiltrated Williams Dynamics." She returned to his bedside and sat down again. "The car accident was definitely an assassination attempt. Someone put a small device in your car's computer system that took control of the steering and brakes. We found pieces of the device in the wreckage, but we could not trace who made it." Katie picked up his hand and held it gently. "I have been giving you special medicine that helps your body heal faster. The doctors think it is just normal treatment, but it is actually an advanced formula developed by our scientists. You should recover much quicker than they expect." She was quiet for a moment, then continued. "I want you to know that I will not let anyone hurt you. Even though you cannot respond to me, I feel like we have become friends during these past few nights. I promise to keep you safe until you wake up and can protect yourself again." Marcus wanted desperately to squeeze her hand and tell her that he could hear everything. Katie was risking her life to protect him, and she did not even know that he was already awake. Her confession had revealed that the situation was much more dangerous and complicated than he had imagined. Aliens and government agents and enemy spies were all part of this mystery now. The next night, Katie arrived at Marcus's room carrying a small electronic device. She checked the hallway carefully before closing the door behind her. Marcus watched through barely open eyelids as she placed the device on his bedside table and pressed a button. A soft blue light appeared on the device. "This little machine will block any listening devices," Katie whispered. "Tonight I need to tell you things that are very dangerous. If the wrong people hear what I'm about to say, both of us could be killed." She sat down in her usual chair and looked at Marcus's peaceful face. I received a message from my commanders. Today, the situation is much worse than we first thought. The aliens I mentioned before have a name. They call themselves the Zephyrian Empire, and they have been watching Earth for over 50 years. Marcus felt a chill run through his body, but he kept perfectly still. Katie continued speaking in her quiet voice. The Zephyrians are an old civilization that has existed for thousands of years. They have conquered many planets and destroyed dozens of intelligent species. But they do not attack planets randomly. They have a specific pattern that they follow every time. Katie pulled out her notebook and opened it to a page filled with notes. First, they study a species for many years. They learn about their technology, their culture, and their weaknesses. Then they identify the most dangerous individuals and eliminate them quietly. Finally, when the species is weak and confused, they attack with their full military force. She turned the page and showed Marcus a drawing of a strange creature with blue skin and large black eyes. This is what a Zephyrian looks like. They are taller than humans and much stronger. Their technology is hundreds of years ahead of ours. One of their spaceships could destroy an entire city in minutes. Marcus wanted to sit up and demand more information, but he forced himself to remain motionless. Katie was revealing secrets that could change everything he thought he knew about the universe. The Zephyrians have a special fear of species that develop faster than expected, Katie said. They believe that young civilizations like humans are the most dangerous because we adapt and learn so quickly. While they spent thousands of years perfecting their technology, humans went from horses to spaceships in just a few hundred years. She closed the notebook and leaned forward. Your quantum drive engine scared them, Marcus. Our agents intercepted some of their communications. The Zephyrians said that humans should not have been able to create such advanced technology so quickly. They decided that Earth must be destroyed before we become too powerful. Katie stood up and walked to the window again. The attack will not come from spaceships appearing in the sky. The Zephyrians are much more clever than that. They have been sending agents to Earth for the past 10 years. These agents look exactly like humans because they use advanced technology to change their appearance. She returned to his bedside with a worried expression. The alien agents have gotten jobs in important places. Some work in government offices, others work for military companies, and some have joined corporations like yours. They are slowly destroying us from the inside while we do not even know they exist. Marcus thought about his own company and the mysterious problems he had been experiencing. The missing files, the stolen money, the employees asking strange questions. It all made sense now. Alien spies had infiltrated Williams Dynamics. We think at least 3 Zephyrian agents work at your company, Katie said. They have been stealing your research and sending it back to their home planet. But they also want to make sure that no other humans can continue your work. That is why they tried to kill you. She picked up the electronic device and checked its display. The worst part is that we do not know how many more agents are on Earth. They could be anywhere. They could be anyone. Some of our own people in the defense force might be aliens pretending to be human. Katie sat down again and took his hand. There is something else you need to know, even though you cannot hear me. Zephyrians are not planning to wait much longer. Our intelligence suggests they will begin their final attack within the next 6 months. They want to destroy all of Earth's space technology and eliminate anyone who might help humans escape to other planets. She squeezed his hand gently. Your quantum drive technology is humanity's only hope. If we can build enough ships with your engines, we might be able to evacuate millions of people before the Zephyrians destroy Earth. But first, we need to stop the alien agents from sabotaging your work. Marcus realized that his personal problems with corporate spies were actually part of a much larger war for the survival of the human species. 2 days later, Marcus received unexpected visitors. Through his closed eyelids, he heard multiple footsteps entering his room. 3 people walked in, speaking in low voices. Marcus recognized the voices immediately. They were members of his Company's board of directors. The doctors say he might never wake up, said Paul Chun, the director of operations. His brain scans show no improvement after 10 days. Perhaps it is time to make some difficult decisions about the company's future. Lisa Brooks, the head of security, moved closer to Marcus's bed. The shareholders are getting nervous. Williams. Dynamic stock has dropped 30% since the accident. Without Marcus to lead the company, we need to take control of the situation. The third voice belonged to Richard Kane, the chief financial officer. I have been reviewing our research projects. The quantum drive program is costing us millions of dollars every month. Maybe we should shut it down and focus on more practical technology. Marcus felt anger building inside him, but he kept his breathing steady and his face completely relaxed. These three people had worked for him for years. He had trusted them with his company's most important secrets. Now they were talking about destroying his life's work while he lay helpless in a hospital bed. The quantum drive research is too dangerous anyway, Paul said. If other countries get access to this technology, it could change the balance of power in the world. Perhaps it would be better if the research disappeared completely. Lisa walked around the room, checking the medical equipment. I have already started moving the most sensitive files to secure storage. For safety reasons, of course. We cannot let competitors steal Marcus's ideas while he is unable to protect them. Richard opened his briefcase and pulled out some papers. I have prepared documents that will give us temporary control of the company. All we need is a medical report saying that Marcus is permanently disabled. Dr. Williams has been very cooperative. Marcus was shocked. Dr. Williams was his personal doctor and an old family friend. If Richard was telling the truth, then even people Marcus had known for decades were working against him. How much longer do we need to wait? Paul asked impatiently. The sooner we gain control, the sooner we can begin dismantling the quantum drive program. Our contacts are getting impatient. Lisa looked directly at Marcus's face. For a moment he thought she might suspect that he was conscious, but she turned away and spoke to the others. Everything is proceeding according to plan. The car accident worked perfectly. Marcus will never cause problems for us again. Richard put the papers back in his briefcase. Once we have legal control of the company, we can sell the quantum drive research to the highest bidder. There are several interested parties who would pay billions for Marcus's work. Paul moved toward the door. Remember, we must be very careful. If anyone discovers what we are really doing, all our plans will be ruined. The authorities cannot find out about our true employers? Lisa nodded. Do not worry. I have been covering our tracks for months. All the evidence points to corporate espionage by foreign governments. No one suspects the real truth. The three conspirators left the room, their footsteps fading down the hospital corridor. Marcus lay in stunned silence, processing everything he had just heard. His most trusted employees were working for someone else. They had caused his accident. They were planning to steal his technology and destroy his company, but the most disturbing part was Paul's mention of their true employers. Combined with Katie's revelations about alien infiltration, Marcus began to understand the horrible truth. Paul, Lisa, and Richard were not just corrupt employees. They were Zephyrian agents who had been pretending to be human for years. Marcus thought about all the times he had shared meals with these people, attended their family gatherings, and trusted them with his most important projects. The aliens had not just infiltrated his company. They had infiltrated his life. Now Marcus realized that his decision to pretend to be unconscious had saved his life in more ways than one. If he had woken up normally, the alien agents would have found another way to eliminate him. By remaining hidden, he had gained valuable information about their plans, but he also understood that time was running out. The aliens were moving quickly to take control of his company and destroy his research. Soon, he would need to reveal himself and fight back. The question was whether he could trust Katie to help him, or if she might also be an alien spy in disguise. That night, Katie arrived for her shift looking more worried than usual. She checked the hallway twice before entering Marcus's room and immediately activated her electronic blocking device. The soft blue light cast strange shadows on the walls. Marcus, I have terrible news, she said, sitting down heavily in her chair. My commanders discovered something horrible today. We found proof that alien agents have taken over your company's board of directors. 3 of your most trusted people are not human. Marcus felt his heart racing, but his cybernetic implants kept his vital signs steady. Katie was confirming everything he had overheard from Paul, Lisa, and Richard. But she still did not know that he could hear every word she was saying. Katie pulled out her notebook and opened it to a page covered with photographs. These pictures were taken with special cameras that can detect alien technology. Look at this image of Paul Chun. Do you see that strange glow around his head? That is the energy signature from his disguise device. She turned the page to show. Another photograph. Lisa Brooks has the same glow. And here is Richard Kane. All 3 of them are using advanced technology to make themselves look like humans. They have been lying to you for years. Katie stood up and began pacing around the room. The worst part is that they are planning to move very soon. Our agents intercepted a message saying that the aliens will try to gain legal control of your company within the next few days. Once they have the proper paperwork, they can access all your research files. She stopped pacing and looked directly at Marcus's face. I wish you could wake up and help us fight them. Your knowledge of the quantum drive technology is the only thing that can save humanity, but the doctors say you might never regain consciousness. Marcus made a decision that would change everything. He could not continue this deception any longer. Katie was risking her life to protect him, and she deserved to know the truth. Slowly, carefully, he opened his eyes. Katie gasped and stepped backward. Marcus, are you awake? Can you hear me? Marcus moved his hand slightly and tried to speak. His voice came out as a whisper after so many days of silence. Katie, I can hear you. I have been awake, for many days. Katie's face went through several emotions at once. Surprise, confusion, fear, and then anger. You have been conscious this whole time? Why did you not tell the doctors? Why did you let me think you were in a coma? Marcus struggled to sit up in his hospital bed. His muscles were weak from lying still for so long. Someone tried to kill me. I knew they would try again if they discovered I was alive. I needed to stay hidden, to learn who my enemies were. Katie helped him adjust his pillows and gave him a cup of water. How much did you hear? Do you know about the aliens? I heard everything, Marcus said, his voice getting stronger. I know about the Zephyrian Empire. I know about the agents in my company. I also know that you are not really just a nurse. Katie's eyes widened. You know about the Defense Force? How is that possible? Marcus pointed to his head. I have cybernetic implants. Computer chips in my brain and spine. They protected me during the car crash and allowed me to stay conscious while pretending to be unconscious. They also enhanced my hearing. Katie sat down hard in her chair. Cybernetic implants? That technology is supposed to be impossible? The best scientists in the world have been trying to create brain-computer interfaces for decades. I developed the technology in secret, Marcus explained. Only I know how to make the chips work safely. This knowledge died with me, or so everyone thought. But now you know the truth. Katie looked around the room nervously. If you have been awake this whole time, then you know how dangerous our situation is. The aliens think you are helpless. They do not know that you can fight back. Marcus tried to swing his legs over the side of the bed. We need to leave this hospital immediately. If Paul, Lisa, and Richard are alien agents, then this entire medical facility might be compromised. The doctors, the staff, even the security guards could be working for the Zephyrians. Katie helped him stand up. His legs were shaky, but his cybernetic implants began sending signals to strengthen his muscles. Where can we go? If the aliens have infiltrated your company and the hospital, then nowhere is safe. Marcus looked at the machines that had been monitoring his fake coma. We are going to my secret laboratory. It is hidden beneath my house, and only I know how to access it. There, I can show you technology that will give humanity a fighting chance against the Zephyrian Empire.